going to assume that everything goes well, and I will talk about the Blackfoot Daisy then, if you guys can see me. This is a showy, low-growing perennial for hot, dry locations. Uh, you may be curious about where the name came from, Blackfoot Daisy, because when you look at the drawing or it's basically a white petaled flower with a yellow disc type center. So where does it get the name Blackfoot Daisy? Well, actually, the bract, which exists on the bottom below the flower and below the petal, it is a special type of double leaf that when it turns black, that seed actually eventually when it matures becomes black. So therefore, that's where the Blackfoot Daisy came from. Anyway, it's found growing in central Texas and also west to Arizona and north to Kansas. It's sometimes called the Plains Daisy or Plains Blackfoot Daisy, and it kind of begins blooming in March. And the good thing about this one is it blooms all the way into November, and it's a pretty tough plant that if you have great drainage and emphasize you need to have very good drainage, this guy will return every year. But as we've probably talked about the past many times when we have discussed Blackfoot Daisy, you can easily overwater this guy and it'll die. So I would suggest maybe only watering it maybe a couple of times in the summer, and that's all it needs. In fact, it'll bloom more with really rich soil, but it actually prefers lousy soil, and of course that's why it's native to central Texas there. It certainly attracts bees and butterflies for its nectar, but the bees also love its seeds. And in terms of propagating this plant, it's very difficult to transplant it because it has a deep taproot. So letting the seeds spread or using cuttings to propagate would be the way to go versus transplanting it. It likes a sunny location, but also kind of does well in partially shaded locations. And I would say that if this guy was planted in central Texas, on the southwest side and got like 12 hours of sun, that might be too much sun. So something that is in full sun, but maybe morning sun and not be exposed to the hottest part of the sun orientation would be good. It thrives well in a rock garden, and it's reportedly to be deer resistant, but they will browse the flowers in the young plants there. Anyway, this is also a NPSOT nice plant for the spring selection, and this guy pretty much checks all the boxes. Drought tolerant, yes. Heat and sun resistant, yes. Low maintenance, yes. Long blooming, check. Poor soil, check. So this is a great native plant. Any questions?
Yeah, Marion wants to know when the best time to trim it is. And Sarah's got the form pulled up on the speaker thing, so we're able to see the normal one. Gotcha.
Best time to plant this would be toward the middle of the summer, late summer, just so that it kind of retains its shape like a lot of native plants do, and it'll come back more dense.
Actually, she was asking about trimming it.
Trimming?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, just trim it down in the middle of the summer or late summer, and so it kind of retains its shape. It's interesting that the data I read on this says that you can go ahead and deadhead the flowers, but in this situation, I've been told that it doesn't make any difference, because as long as you maintain good drainage and don't overwater it, this guy will continue to bloom all the way into November. And you don't have to deadhead this one.
Leon, you mentioned a long taproot. How much soil do you have to have?
If this is native to Central Texas, where it really thrives, I'm pretty sure what they say is a long taproot isn't very long.
Okay,
'Cause we don't
good.
have deep soil. You know, and in rock gardens, it does well, you know, but
Okay.
apparently whatever taproot it has, when you go to dig it up, maybe you're damaging the taproot when you try to transplant it. And that's what they're really referring to.
Well, and there's nothing stopping those deep roots from going into the karst.
That's true. They
Mhm.
seem to find a way to get there.
Okay.
There's a very similar plant that some people get confused with, and it's called a dwarf white daisy. And rather than have 13 to maybe 10 or 9 petals on the flowers, the dwarf white daisy, or it's a zinnia actually, only has about 4 to 6 petals, but it looks very similar to the flower. Okay, well, that's it. Thank you.